I found pieces of a Plan B package in the kitchen garbage. My wife doesn't have any reason to take emergency contraception because I had a vasectomy years ago. Hey everyone. I don't know what to do in this situation because I never expected I'd face something like this. I'm trying to stay calm and rational and examine every possibility, but I'm coming up seriously short here. I met my wife, 27, on Tinder 3 years ago. I am 31 and we talked on and off for some time before she agreed to meet me. By the end of our first date, we found that we had so much in common that we even agreed we should have met a lot earlier. More than anything, we were both against the idea of having kids. I know, heavy topics for a first date. We were on a roll and just kept talking, and before we knew it, we were 3 to 4 dates ahead of the curve. At the very least, I held off on telling her about my vasectomy until the third. Her immediate reaction upon hearing about it was of an instant of shock, where she couldn't believe a young guy would get one. She immediately followed that by commending me for my conviction about being child-free. We dated and had a great time with few real arguments, and eventually settled down with a big wedding and a big house. After getting married, if anything, our relationship has only gotten better. 4 nights ago was the first time I ever had any serious doubts about our relationship. My wife was out with a friend, and I was doing some house cleaning. I was throwing away a bunch of semi-large garbage that can fit into bags, and so I took a few things out of the kitchen garbage bag to make everything fit into two. At the bottom I saw a light purple box where half of a lowercase n and an uppercase B were visible. I immediately recognized it for what it was, and reassembling the torn pieces just confirmed it. I had known that my wife was on her period because when I tried to initiate sex, she told me so. I found it odd because her previous period had ended just a couple of weeks before, and I made comment about the timing being odd. She told me it's just lady stuff and it happens sometimes. I figured it made enough sense and let the issue rest. I haven't told her that I found the box. When she got home that night, everything was so normal. I tried to gauge how she was feeling, or if she seemed like she was trying to hide anything, but couldn't find a single thing. The more time this simmers inside of me, the more the possibilities start springing to mind. What if she was assaulted? What if she was covering for someone else by bringing the box home and disposing of it here? What if she, for some reason, just felt pregnant randomly? Or what if she just cheated? I only know one thing for certain. Unless someone broke into our house to dispose of a box of Plan B and cover it with a bunch of other trash haphazardly, she was the only person other than me who could have thrown it away. I don't even know how to ask her or how to bring it up. We have both expressed adamantly that cheating is ridiculous because if you're dissatisfied enough in a relationship to be unfaithful, you should just leave. I've done nothing to displease her, at least that I know of. Maybe I'm just naive, or maybe the situation is more complicated than I'm giving it credit for. But I feel like a coward for being unable to bring it up 4 days later just because I don't know how. Best comments. She bought it long ago, was cleaning, found medicine with expired date, threw it out. I hadn't thought of that possibility. That sounds very plausible. The fact that she's been having lady issues makes me wonder if she's having some hormonal issues. She even told you about lady stuff. When you tried to initiate sex, maybe there's a fibroid or cyst or abnormal hormone thing going on with her. Plan B is a cheap over-the-counter way to get hormones without seeing a doctor. Maybe she was trying to relieve a symptom. Can confirm, this is a commonly recommended fix shared for when someone is dealing with a painful ovarian cyst but can't get to a doctor immediately. Gotta love the American healthcare system. Honestly, since it's torn up in your garbage, I suspect it was intended to be a secret from you, which obviously is a bad sign. Even if there is an explanation, there's no shame in asking. It's reasonable to ask. If she's innocent, you give her a chance to clear herself of your suspicion. If she's guilty, you give yourself a chance to do what you got to do. Don't choose to be ignorant and full of doubts. I'll do that when I get home today. Thank you. It's not a conversation I look forward to. Update, 20 days after the first post. After making my original post, I combed through all of the comments to find reasons as to why she might have torn up a Plan B box and thrown it into the garbage. A lot of them made sense. My greatest hope was that it might have just been old. Maybe it was before we even met. Clinging to that, I hand-wrote a flow chart of all of the routes our conversation might take. I'm awful with confrontation and considered every possibility before bringing it up. what I would say in response, and what I would do. I memorized them all. On the evening after I made my original post, I called her into the living room when she got home from the gym. As I had practiced, I asked her the following question. Hey, I'm not accusing you of anything, but could you tell me why there was a torn-up Plan B box in the garbage? The second the words Plan B left my mouth, she immediately looked like she had been punched in the stomach. She was completely lost for words. I already knew at that point. I retained eye contact and repeated my question. Why was there a torn-up Plan B box in the garbage? You know I had a vasectomy. She just mouth-breathed, looking at me horrified. Then she looked to the floor. Then she started weakly sobbing. This was not on the flowchart. I had no idea how to respond. I thought if I let her cry it out a bit, she might give me a real answer, but she just kept sobbing. Finally, I prompted her with another question. Are you crying because you did something you regret? She shook her head violently. I was so concerned because I thought something horrendous might have happened. She abruptly shrieked, I'm crying because my effing husband doesn't even trust me. I have literally never seen a person that angry, let alone my wife. So, I prompted her again. Just tell me why it was there. You don't have to hide anything from me. She yelled at me again, repeatedly. If you don't trust me, this marriage is hopeless. F you for not trusting me. This line of questioning repeated itself until she told me to get out of the house. I refused and said that until she was upfront with me about why the box was there, I wasn't budging an inch. She then informed me that either I had to leave or she would leave. Since I doubted she had anywhere to stay, her parents don't live anywhere near us, I agreed to go to let us cool down and have a rational conversation like adults later. I went to my best friend's house, the guy who was best man at my wedding, and we got drunk and talked about everything but her. The following night, I texted her asking if she was ready to talk. She was not. Instead, she gave me an ultimatum. I had to 1. Apologize, 2. Promise to never bring it up again, and 3. Learn to trust her completely. Only then would she allow me back home. If I couldn't do all 3 of the above, she was done with me. I have not returned home, and we have now been no contact for over 2 weeks. I am wearing out my welcome at my best friend's house, who has been nothing short of amazing. I currently have a consultation with a lawyer arranged this afternoon. The lawyer will probably tell me I'm an idiot for leaving the house, and she'll probably be right. But the idea of ever stepping foot in that house again makes me sick to my stomach. There is legitimately nothing my wife could say to salvage this marriage. I am entirely numb to her, what she's doing, who she's with, or anything else even tangentially related to her. None of my family members know what happened, and as far as they're concerned, we're still the happy newlyweds. I'm holding off on saying anything until I'm calm and rational, and won't do something I'll regret in the future. Best comments. Honestly, I'm lost for words. This is not the outcome I expected. For her to jump straight to the "you don't trust me" response basically speaks for itself. If she had nothing to hide, she should have simply explained the reasoning for the Plan B being in the bin and then perhaps discussed being disappointed in you for not trusting her. I'm sorry for how things have worked out, but consider it a blessing that you no longer have to waste any time in the relationship. I hope you eventually get the full truth. That's exactly the same conclusion that I came to. She couldn't come up with a good excuse, so she threw a Hail Mary. I don't know what she expected. Moving out might not have been the best move legally, but for your emotional well-being, it sounds like you're doing the right thing. There's no doubt your wife cheated, and I'm so sorry. I'm even more sorry she's not been decent enough to come clean. The way I found out did enough to confirm who and roughly when that I didn't feel a need to press for more details, but not knowing must suck.